Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, where we've got some fun news today. We've got a little official teaser from Plarium, actually a couple of little teasers about the Grim Forest, the upcoming bit of endgame content, and we also have summoning news for the CvC tournament that is starting tomorrow. So I will be streaming for this. It is not personal rewards CvC, it's a chill CvC. So come hang out, we can chat, have a good time. I went a little bit crazy today with some Primal Shard pulls for the first 2x in months and months and months. So I will be building the results of that tomorrow on stream. So come hang out for it. I'll be starting around about when this starts. Stream for 2 or 3 hours maybe. Yeah, it's going to be cool. So let's check out this teaser though. You can hear the music playing in the background. Very, very cool. This is for the Grim Forest. This is all we can see so far in this teaser. We have a second teaser as well. And this teaser is going to be updated in 2 days and 22.5 hours. This is not the release. I've seen so many comments from the content creators debating. This is not the release date for the Grim Forest itself. This is when basically it's going to reveal some more stages and probably some more information on what these stages are, on what these stages mean. But as you will know if you watch my video on the Grim Forest from a couple of days ago with the first info, the way it basically looks is you do have stages as we normally do, but then they're sort of shrouded behind this fog of war and you don't know what's happening. And let's say if I was to clear out M9 here, which currently we cannot do, but if you were able to clear it out, then that would push back, I think, the fog of war around this for our next steps and whatnot. So yeah, we have a little bit of info here. We can zoom in. We've got the old camp. Looks like there's a griffin with a crown. Apparently abandoned for centuries, with paths going off in all directions. Fire at the heart of the camp still burns brightly. Its flames contort and twist, forming expressions of agony, cruel delight, and abject terror. Perhaps the camp settlers never left after all. I don't know if that's going to be something that you can interact with, and maybe it's a boss. I don't know. Or is that's interesting. Then we've got like M9. Seems to be just a normal stage. Get some brews. Exciting stuff. Get some magic brews. Here we go. The content we've all waited for. At least energy is a little more interesting. This is M85. This has a skull icon, so I'm guessing this one might have a boss. And then we've got this icon over here. An empty battlefield could be just that, or could it be a trap? Step foot into the shadows and find out. I think these are going to be mystery stages. If we jump over here to, they've shared this on Discord as well. Couple of different things. So the foot stages, what we've seen there. Sometimes you can move through them undeterred. Sometimes there's an ambush. Sometimes you can find treasure chests or grim charms. So it looks like these stages, it's a bit of a mystery, right? What's it going to be? An ambush? Treasure? Nothing? Could be anything. It seems like maybe you have to step onto the stage to find out. So be prepared. And then we've got, I think these are normal stages. I think these are basically the two different things. So normal stages, either a regular one or a boss version. These stages contain various enemies, from waves of lower tier champions to mythical bosses. Pretty spicy, pretty spicy. I'm interested. So you might maybe kind of like I'm thinking the Corrosa event dungeon, right? Where you fight a boss. The mythical is built as a boss. That can be super scared. Like Corrosa is absolutely terrifying when she was a boss, and so on. Looks like there are 4 more types of what we call them nodes, types of node. I'm guessing one would certainly be a treasure node. One might be an actual boss node. These are, I guess, actual champions. I'm guessing definitely treasure, boss. 2 more. What are the other 2? I don't know. So I guess we'll find out. But cool little teaser there. And yeah, I'm guessing we're going to get more info on that in whatever 3 days time. So stay tuned. It feels to me like it's probably a couple of weeks. I think it's probably going to be like the big Christmas fusion, right? We're really going into downtime. In fact, I can bring that up over here too. But yeah, like if I look in game, we're going into like a generic Gear Hunters event, like cool little bit of art, but nothing special there. If I open up Plarium Play, obviously the 2x primals is the big thing right now. We're going to have, a Sand Devil, the Gear Hunters, kind of nothing is happening until this weekend. And then presumably there could be big stuff kicking off the end of the week. I'd be guessing a Titan event for Christmas, the Yuletide Titan event. It's happened the last 2 years. I'm guessing it's probably going to kick off. So I think end of the week is going to be kind of crazy. But certainly this week is, the weekdays are going to be pretty chill, I would say. It's kind of just crazy shard events for Black Friday, then chill out. So, what do we have in terms of shard events for CvC? Well, we do have some. On Tuesday, December 2nd, Aragaz, Krokad, Bells, Artak, Packmaster, Shayak, Gaelet, Raka, and Warlord. And then on Wednesday, the 3rd of December, we're going to have Bollant, Nishak, Uko, Ragash, Razelvarg, Leorius, Tunisia, and Coronar. Both of those will be up for 1 day each. And something I thought might be kind of fun, I opened it up here. So I've made, this was my legendary tier list that I was looking at on tier maker, and it's been adjusted a bit based off your feedback. Let me just mark them on this. I thought it'd be kind of fun to get a vibe for where they would fall. So let me mark them and I will be right back. Okay, so here we go. Let me know if this is like interesting or useful or not. But for day 1, we've got so we've got faction unity over here with Shayak. I have put Krokad up really high. He's A+, so he's currently the highest rated of these. And by the way, the factions are in whatever faction order. I think it's a somewhat random faction order. I think it's actually alphabetical faction order. And then within the tiers as well, the champions are rated alphabetically. And then we've got these two down here. Honestly, these are all orcs. They're not bad. It's a decent enough selection. I do think that Bells and Artak are a little underwhelming. They are sort of early game MVPs. Artak, super good for like Ice Golem, hard, even when you get to it, Ice Golem hard, which is not early game, so he's good there, but he's very good for Spider. He'd be very helpful for Hydra early game. Several of the Doom Tower bosses really good. So he is an above average champion. Again, to put this in context of all the legendaries, B is sort of average. They're above average. But they're not too crazy. Again, Bells, he's a very tanky damage dealer with block buffs, bit of decreased defense. I think he can steal buffs as well. He hits reasonably hard, but not too crazy. He's sort of B+ in there. He's solid enough. And I think I actually did move Tholan up. I think that's a little out of date, but it's fine. No big deal. Maybe I moved somebody else up by accident. Oh, this might be a slightly old version of Alien and Predator in there. I don't know. It doesn't really matter too much. You get the gist. But yeah, over here, I think Warlord and Raka are both good. They're both solid. They're not the best of the best, but they're both very useful. Warlord's still great for PvP and very, very good for Faction Wars Hard. Raka, very, very good for Faction Wars Hard. And she's actually pretty good for Chimera and just generally being a solid support. Shayak is really the combo with Krokad. I do think Gaelet has a lot of potential, especially for this new content coming out at the end of the year. Right? He is a new Void Legendary. I don't love him, but I think he might be very effective, where basically every 10 debuffs your team receives, he removes all the debuffs, heals your entire team, gives them a shield, gives them a fortify buff. It's kind of a sick passive. It's a crazy, and he can just trigger this over and over and over again. It's actually kind of insane. Like, we think about perhaps trying to counter Volcanos or Nell, any champs like that, he could be kind of crazy. So I've not seen him much in action. I've rated him very high, though. I've rated him near the top. I think he's got a lot of potential. So he'd be sort of the one to chase. Krokad's very good as well. To be honest, I'd probably be going for Aragaz over Krokad here. Maybe it means I should rank Aragaz A+. Probably I should. Because I would be personally going for Aragaz, to be honest. Because he is the faction unity. He's harder to get. Now, he is more limited in where you use him, right? He's much more limited to Siege, Faction Wars. Difficult to build faction teams other than that, but he could do some stuff. But he is very powerful. Really strong, where he just keeps counterattacking with this skill on his A2, kind of like Leonardo style, just spamming this out. It hits really hard. He's tanky. He can trigger it with his A2 as well. Heal people back up with his A1 and then trigger this again. It's kind of cool. He's very difficult when you fight him in Faction Wars Hard. I think he's good. Maybe I should put him in A+, but that is day 1. And then day 2 is looking like this. So a couple of weaker Void Legendaries, I would say, in Coronar and Tunisia. Tunisia empowers Marius. That's the big thing for her. She's above average as well, like AoE stun and burns. There's just a lot of legendary champions that do burns, so I can't give it too much value. AoE stun is nice. I think she's solid. Above average, not too crazy. Coronar, again, is sort of reliant on combining with Manaya. He's very, very powerful, actually, when you combo him with Manaya. But the issue is that you need to run him with Manaya. They're in different factions, so you can't even run them together for Faction Wars Hard. Very little content where that is a particularly relevant couple. Like they're okay in arena, but nothing special. So yeah, I think he's sort of again in B plus. And then we've got the other ones. I am rating Nishak the highest. I think he's just super useful coming in with those bombs. He is insane. But we also have got the faction unity in there. I would rather have Nishak for sure than the faction unity though. Nishak's just great, right? 2 bombs, and then he can reduce their duration by a turn, their detonation by a turn. He's basically a better version of the current fusion, right? So poor old Kraz is coming in. Kraz is supposed to do the same thing, but because he's based off turn meter, I did a whole video on it. It doesn't quite work right where he goes A2 into A3. Nishak, it's based off an extra turn, so it's extremely, extremely consistent. Does this, gets his extra turn. It's lovely. It's beautiful. Do watch out for some... He actually can hit pretty hard. So if he crits, watch out for super squishy champions like Siegfried or Arnorn, those sorts of super squishy champions that might trigger a passive and then wreck you in return. That can be one downside, because if he crits, he genuinely hits very hard. But yeah, Nishak is just great. He's got bombs for days. He also has poisons, which makes him actually pretty decent for some PvE stuff, to be honest, as well. And bombs on his A1. He does bonus damage to bosses with his bombs as well. So he's like better. Kraz, it seems to me, Kraz was designed to be a PvP upgrade on Nishak. Affinity friendly bombs, decrease them, block active skills, some extra turns there. He seems like he's supposed to be a better PvP version of Nishak. But because his A2 doesn't really work as you want it to, Nishak is just better. So I rate Nishak, needless to say, very, very highly. The others are all good. The legendaries got AoE stuns and decreased defense from Murgash. It's good. Uko, nice speed aura. He has the revive as well. Razelvarg, just AoE damage, and he's very fast. He'll take lots of turns. Bolland is worth looking at as well because he's faction unity. I think he's solid. He doesn't have a ton of places. Like one slight problem for him, he has an arena aura. Doesn't work in Siege. Siege is sort of his main place. He comes in with a remove all buffs before attacking and then double chance to stun. Ignores resistance. So he's like, I remove your buffs and I stun you. He's sort of like a mini Odin. It's decent, but Odin is better. And Odin doesn't need any skinwalkers to work. But Marius is in this faction, which is strong. He can make Marius a bit better, give Marius more chances to stun, and give them turn meter. He has a decreased defense that's basically AoE decreased defense, but he can weak hit. His A1 can steal turn meter, can give extra turns. He's okay. He's solid enough, but yeah, again, like at a quick gander, if I look at these two, for me, to be honest, one thing that I'm thinking looking at this is I probably should rate this guy up here. Well, let's just put him up with the orcs. I think Aragaz probably belongs up there. Shayak is great, but a bunch of his rating is based off Krokad being there. Krokad is great, but again, a bunch of his rating is based off of Shayak. You want the two to really get their maximum effect. Their placement on the tier list is sort of averaging it out. Like without Krokad, obviously Shayak is lower. Without Shayak, Krokad's lower, but they're higher because they're very strong when they're together. And yeah, other than that, again, the faction unities are always reasonable enough to pull for. The Void Legos, I'd be leaning more towards the Orc ones, but Leorius is pretty good still. He's still pretty good. And there you go. They're not the best of the best, but they're solid. So it's very much an optional sort of event for me, personally. I'm skipping this. I definitely would like Warlord. I definitely would like Gaelet. I would say Gaelet would be the big one. I think basically any of these four are reasonable enough, including Aragaz. So Aragaz, Krokad if you've got Shayak but don't have Krokad. I think Gaelet's reasonable, and I think Nishak's reasonable. If you're close to Mercy and you could really do with one of those champions, it's reasonable enough to pull for them. Perhaps even the A tiers. I wouldn't be so keen on the B+, to be honest, over these ones, but it is there. But yeah, I'm going to wait for Yuletide Titan event. I'm expecting a Titan event for December. I'm expecting, obviously, a really strong fusion for December. I want to just start stockpiling and preparing for that. So I'm personally going to be skipping these, is sort of my plan there. So there you go. That's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. Do you prefer this version or is this way worse? Give me your thoughts. Is this a better or worse way of doing it? The old way is where I just take this and I'm like drawing like the lines, which would be like, we can do it very quickly seeing as we've done it. Let's zoom in a little bit as well. I always get confused with the controls moving between different programs like this. Like Aragaz would be pretty good. Krokad's good as well. Personally, I wouldn't really recommend Bells, but he's okay. Artak is quite good, but I wouldn't super recommend him. Shayak is good. Come something like that, and I think he's probably the best. Raka is somewhere around there. Yeah. Is this more useful? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know which one you prefer. The visual, this more visual, or the other one? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. But yeah, for me, I am skipping this. Skip, skip, skip. Even though I do think there's some quite useful champions. And definitely the big one for me that's most intriguing is the potential for Galet. I think his passive is very strong. That might make him pretty cool. But he does seem to be sort of, with a AoE stun, decreased defense. He seems sort of designed as more of a PvE. And I'm guessing he's really there for the new content for Grim Forest. But I think this is a strong passive with good, decent potential. One issue against Nell is that the shield, the fortify, and the heal would also trigger new poisons from Nell, which is not great. I don't know. We'll see. There we go. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.